Hello, everyone. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about something that I've already talked about for the acoustic side of drumming. I'm going to be talking about how to make your setup more comfortable so that you can play more fluid and more relaxed. This time, though, I'm actually going to do it for the electronics. I use a pretty big electronic kit. Um, I don't use the pads all the time, but I like the fact that I can have all these at my, whenever I need to, just so that I could play some different things. And I do a lot of different styles of music. So I've got things like congas and some splashes and some more crashes. Adds a little more variety. But I found it took me the longest time to get a comfortable setup. And with that, I can't tell you how many times I turned things around and unplugged things and put brackets up. And right now, I've been using the same setup for about a year. I do teaching here at my home over the wire like this. But I thought, it's time to really do another video about how to be more comfortable when you're playing. Because let's face it, when you're more comfortable, you're more fluid. When you're more fluid, the groove sounds better and everything sounds more natural. Now, I am left handed. As you know, you've known this for years. So, whatever it is that I am doing, please use a flipped version of it for when you try to do your own setup. I'm using a Roland TD12 and a TD11 module. So I'm using two modules right now, but that's irrelevant. This is about how to go about setting up comfortably, not how to get really good sounds. I'll do that in another video as well. The first thing you have to do with learning how to set up comfortably is get your seat height right. That is imperative. If someone saw my other video, I stated I used to sit really, really low. And with that, I found my center of gravity was okay, but it actually flexed my muscles like this because I felt like a catcher on a baseball team. I was sitting really low, my legs were always crunched over, and consequently, my muscles were always flexed. And there were times when I came out from playing a gig all night long thinking, man, my legs are really killing me, and I'm not able to play as strong as I am. Well, I found the correct seat height for me. The correct seat height, first off, lets you take your relaxed state, and you either should be sort of level with, parallel. Your legs should be, your upper leg should be parallel to the floor, or maybe a little down so that you're facing a little forward. But you need to be able to sit in a pattern with your legs open, relaxed, and your feet relaxed. Now, my feet are on the pedals, and you're going to see how I'm playing as it is. You have to be able to lift up all of your legs, both of your legs, and stay in balance. So the balance point, really, even when everything's up right now, I'm not moving back and forth to gain balance. I need to be able to do that first off. So when you're doing that, make sure that your legs are either parallel to the floor when fitting on the pedals, or that they're a little bit down. Any lower than that, if you're starting to sit lower, you'll start clenching your muscles, and that really won't work out the way you need it to. All right. Second, when you're doing that, when you're setting up an electronic kit, you're very lucky. In most cases, bass drums and hi-hats could be kind of put anywhere. They could be put off to the side, they can be put off front. What you'll end up doing is finding the distance first between your snare drum, and your seat, so that when you are playing, just drop your arms in a nice relaxed spot, and the sticks should be pretty much right in the center of your snare drum. That means you're not kicking the snare drum back all the way to here so that you're playing like this in a clenched position. You're sitting relaxed and able to play anything that you need to right off the bat. So with the snare drum between your legs, because you want to be in a nice relaxed state, it'll be if you're right-handed, it'll be your bass drum foot and your right foot, my left foot, and your hi-hat foot will be on your left side. You sit in a relaxed position, just like you were sitting watching TV. But your pedals will be your feet will be up on the pedals, ready to push them down at a moment's notice. But everything is relaxed between the bottom of your legs, your calves, and your upper and lower body. From there, I have found that the best solution, once I have got my snare drum positioned and my bass drum positioned, you don't want to be too far out with your bass drum or hi-hat, and you don't want to be too close, because why? Your muscles, again, are flexed. You want to sit in a nice relaxed state. When you have your snare drum, bass drum, and hi-hat position together, all lined up, you should be able to go to any of your upper drums without stretching very much at all. Right now, I am at the center of my smallest tom. It's almost directly in front. Now, I have a lot of drums, so I put mine off to the side a little bit. But normally, on a normal kit with 2 up, 2 down, I set right in front and play right here. Notice my arms are not raised or anything like that. They're still in a relaxed state, and my sticks aren't stretched completely out. I sit here and play right to the center of the drum. And naturally, what that does is it promotes very little movement. Very little movement. Being able to sit and maintain your center, your core, with very little movement. From there, my toms are kind of close to each other. Now, I'm even using bigger drums. I'm using 12-inch drums. Some of you are using 8-inch drums, and some of them are using 10-inch drums or whatever. I'm using bigger drums, 12s all the way around. When I go to move around the drum set, you will be doing it to your right. I'm doing it to my left. Take a look at my arms. To move, I'm going right to the center of where I need to be, right, without moving my arms out or up. And nice, keeping the shoulders low, but it's positioned. My tom-tom one is positioned here, not too high, not too low. I'm about 3 or 4 inches off of the snare drum, but the second drum is right here. So it's kind of like, I call it stirring the cauldron. You should be stirring the cauldron without all that much movement. All of this lets you be able to go in either direction. In fact, most of my students know when I'm doing the exercises, I go and do both frontwards and backwards between any of the drums without having to go through a lot of motion. At the same time, my hi-hat, once again, everything you're seeing is my shoulders are always low. Now, most of you with the bigger electronic kits may be putting your hi-hat off to the side more because you have something that actually goes up and down. Mine doesn't. I just have a pad for a hi-hat, so I keep it pretty much level, and it allows me this much room to get my snare drum stick up and down. But my arms and my shoulders still down. Same thing for my cymbals. Look at where my cymbals are. 1 cymbal, 2 cymbals, 3 cymbals, ride cymbal. Everything, shoulders down, comfortable, set up in positions. I don't even have a lot of space between each drum. That way I'm still compact and able to play comfortably. Notice when I'm moving around, I'm not having to raise out or pull back or any of that. It's kind of like having everything placed on a table in front of you at different locations in the round. That's the easiest way to go about doing a setup. Now, the minute you have to start reaching, what happens? It throws you out of balance. When it throws you out of balance, it throws your feet off and out of balance. So, sitting up straight. I'm going to play a little bit of a solo for you so you can see where I'm going. All of that action is with all of this still keeping down and not having to come out far in order to do any of the maneuvering around the drum set. So the first thing you do is get your core, what I call finding ground zero, which I did in the other video. Get your core stable, you're in balance with your feet so you can move them up and down. Play your center drum, your snare drum, which you're going to be centering your whole kit on, nice and relaxed, and build from there. Nothing up top, everything here, smooth and confident. I'll talk to you next time.